Welcome to Bastrop State Park. Rich in history. We'll get into that, but we had an epic snafu when we pulled in here. Stick around. This area is one that we are not unfamiliar with. Last June, we spent a long weekend at Buescher State Park. Go check out that video. I mentioned in that video that Bastrop is the quintessential small Texas town. It is. 30 miles east of Austin, it's a nice little getaway from the hustle and bustle. Surrounded by loblolly pines and the Colorado River, it's almost got an East Texas look. But it's not East Texas, it's Central Texas. And with it being about 100 miles northeast of San Antonio, I've been here many times. Since I was a small child to now, as a big child. And whenever I think of Bastrop, Texas, I think of this place, Bastrop State Park. This was another park that my family and I frequented often when I was growing up. It was also this park that I made into a yearly father-daughter's trip for me and my two girls from when they were very little until they were, well, not so little. I love this park. So yes, I've been here a lot. But see, here's the thing. The girls and I would sleep in a tent, and we more or less stayed at the southern tip of the park. Not now. Now I happen to be pulling a little efficiency apartment on wheels and staying in a different section as well. But me being Switchback Texan, aka Vasco da Gama, refused the map at check-in. Because I don't need no stinking map, right? Well, my everlasting desire to show off my navigational wizardry to my wife took over. That's right, I don't need no stinking map. My directional skills and situational awareness occasionally match my fishing skills. Somebody, anybody, please, I beg you, just tell me you've done this before too. I don't even care if you lie. Wow, that was a feat. They usually put a sign so no RVs beyond this point. No trailers beyond this point. Yep. For the rest of my days, I'm gonna regret not recording what happened back there. I could have easily made about 375 shorts from it. Mostly bleeps. But on the bright side, after maneuvering in reverse through about 75 yards of curved roads and trees with a 25-foot 8-inch travel trailer, I feel like I can accomplish anything. Bastrop State Park is a 6,600-acre park, designed, planned, and built 1933. It was opened in 1937. This is a good old CCC park built by companies 1805 and 1811. If you want to see a ton of CCC structures, this is the place to do just that. The design principles and visions created here were the work of architect Arthur Fair, following National Park Service standards. Using the local materials of walnut, cedar, oak, and pine, as well as red sandstone, the process was purposefully made to give the appearance of these structures to seemingly look as if they grew from the ground. These features of Bastrop State Park were eventually served as a role model for later CCC park development across the entire U.S. So revered was this park that in 1997 it was recognized as a National Historic Landmark, one of only 7 CCC parks in the nation to have this honor bestowed upon it. That brings us to the 2011 fire. We'll talk about that later. I'm keeping things kind of light right now. There are 35 full hookup sites, 19 water and electric, 16 tent-only sites with water, and 13 full-sized cabins. This is like a resort in the woods. We'll take a gander at all of this later. This is our site, number 9. We were anxious to set up and partake in what Jules from Pulp Fiction calls the cornerstone of any nutritious Texas State Park meal. What a beautiful morning. We are in campsite 9. These are all pull-through sites here. What I really like about this one is it kind of overlooks this little vista, or whatever you want to call it here. There's a highway in the back there. But this is a nice little compact site. We've had some spacious sites before. This one is not, but that's fine with me. It's not like we're going to be throwing a frisbee or anything. But I like it. And this was one of the sites that I had included on my list of potential future sites. And I really like the view over here. As you can see, the highway in the back. A little bit of road noise too. And of course I got the Weber. You know what I'm gonna do. It's a wooden picnic table. Got a fire pit here with a grill. Plus you have a standing grill here. There's no burn ban going on right now. There actually was one here that was lifted, I guess just a few days ago. I've been keeping up with it. Lantern hook. Very nice. Very, very compact, very clean. These are very well-kept campsites. This is Friday morning, so we're probably going to be full by the time 2 o'clock today comes. Right now we're kind of empty. We're picking up about 60 channels on our Omnigo here. We have full connections at this site, including sewer, of course. 30 amp and 50 amp. All pull through. We're kind of towards the end of this loop back here. It's very quiet, kind of an overlook. Very nice, very, very peaceful out here, other than the road noise, which I don't mind. The apartment that we previously lived in in San Antonio was directly off of Interstate Highway 10. So road noise is something that doesn't really bother us that much, but we do like a little bit of quiet. It's not that bad. It dropped down into the 40s last night. We do have full sun in this site, but again, we're kind of in a little bit of a cool spell right now. I say cool because I think the high today is going to be 66. So I'm not mad at full sun. It feels really, really nice out here. I didn't even put on my flannel today. Flannel is sort of like my signature, but it's a nice park. It's Friday morning. We already went to Dairy Queen, so we're happy. And here's Nomer Pyle getting his Texas State Park on. Cold weather, strong breezes, ain't got nothing on me. Looking at this site, it appears to be an ADA accessible site. It's certainly laid out that way, but the website didn't indicate it. Maybe it used to be. ADA compliant sites are in all of our Texas state parks. What drew me to this one though was the view here. And most of these campsites on the tips of these little loops back here have great views. The view was fantastic from the inside as well. You know who else likes the view? Cooper, the saber-toothed tiger. Seen here fantasizing about ambushing and feasting on a herd of caribou. He's on high alert. It's winter time, and by nature, he's a hunter and a killer. That's probably why we didn't see much wildlife while we were here. They were aware of his presence. But ever the cunning predator, he's always lurking in the shadows, waiting to pounce on some unsuspecting hooved mammal. That's right. His stealth and his surprise attacks are the things nightmares are made of. This region of Texas with these pine trees is something of an anomaly. The entire state used to be inundated with loblolly pines. And during the last ice age, for some reason, this section was spared. In 2011, from September to October, for 55 days, a wildfire engulfed this whole area here. 95% of Bastrop State Park was engulfed in flames. On the afternoon of September 4th, 2011, high winds caused by Tropical Storm Lee snapped trees onto power lines, causing 3 separate fires that eventually scorched over 34,000 acres of the Lost Pines region, becoming the costliest and most destructive fire in Texas history. Everywhere you look here at the state park, you still see remnants of it. Nevertheless, there's something heartwarming about seeing countless baby pines coming out of the ground. They're just as striking to see as the big ones. And they're everywhere. This is the regrowth. It'll reach the majesty it once was, but not in my lifetime. Most people around here will tell you that Bastrop State Park came back strong, stronger than ever. I agree. But I have a different take. It prevailed. It never left to begin with. Mrs. Switchback is a little under the weather.
Feliz Navidad.
Couple of things on this trip that were a little bit different from our other adventures. One, which was the epic driving past the point where trailers are not supposed to drive to. I stopped filming it because it would have turned into an R-rated feature. So we got out of that alive and with Janie Marie intact. But that kind of set us back a little bit. And then, of course, the inevitable, we didn't have toilet paper. The Piney Hill restroom. Now, Stephen F. Austin State Park had a fantastic bathhouse facility. This one here is just as good, if not better. The water pressure was very good. The water temperature was pretty hot, which is to say scalding. And of course you got your little dishwashing station here and your filtered water station. But the restrooms here are very spacious and have climate control too. Very comfortable experience here this morning taking a shower. Bastrop is also one of the few state parks in Texas that has a swimming pool, which, with it being December right now, is not being utilized for obvious reasons. Despite the damage that was done to this park back in 2011, the CCC structures here, for the most part, remained intact because the CCC, ever the workhorses, made things built to last. There was a Christmas party going on here last night, and this parking lot here was filled with people. Very nice CCC pavilion, available to rent for events. We are camped here in the Piney Hill area. I don't know if you want to call it a loop. It's more like a figure 8. Again, this is an area I'd never stayed in before, but I can see the appeal. Full hookups in this section, and as you saw earlier where we're set up, most sites here have a great view of the horizon. And the location was walking distance to most of the park features. When it comes to researching campsites, I always do my homework. YouTube, Facebook, and the state park websites here have never let me down. You may even say I'm a little obsessed with it. And if you don't say that, Mrs. Switchback will. We're entering the Copperas Creek camping area. Now, when I think about the highlights I've had in my life, one of the most memorable would have to be the times I spent here with the girls. We would stay in this section here, and we really didn't leave it. We'd sleep in a tent, cook hot dogs on a stick, and generally enjoy the surroundings. There's something about sleeping in a tent that really puts you in touch with nature. Tents are allowed in this area, and we always made the most of it. We enjoyed it. And just like me, when I was growing up, spending time with my dad outdoors, this was how they learned to appreciate the outdoors. It was also how I, as a grown man bringing a 6-year-old girl and a 3-year-old girl camping in the woods, realized that no matter how meticulously you planned these trips, nothing prepared you for that first time out, realizing you don't have a clear-cut plan for the bathroom situation. But you live and learn. And they were always some of the most enjoyable times of my life. They're in their 20s now. We're gonna do this again soon. Only this time, we'll be in a box on wheels. With all the cabins they have here, they do not have screen shelters here. They do have some cabins closer to where we are camped, which are a little bit more modern. They don't have that rustic look and those CCC cabins back there have. This park used to have a golf course as well. It's one of the very few in Texas. I think there's only 1 or 2 state parks left that have a golf course. I don't golf. This is the overlook here, and this is a CCC structure. There are a ton of CCC structures here in this park.
On the road again.
Yes, we're on the road again.
I just can't wait to get on the road again.
I can't wait for you to get on the Robitussin.
I don't know what he's talking about, but I will take medicine if it's in a pill form. I don't like to taste anything. Period.
No, she doesn't.
Because then I feel like I'm going to throw up. And Switchback Texan seems to think I'm just being dramatic.
She's never thrown up, ever. Yep, good old Buc-ee's, aka the inevitable. Not quite, but almost on par with Dairy Queen as far as the draw-in factor. We couldn't be stopped. Restrooms, world famous restrooms. Once you go in, you never want to come out. In an effort to brighten Mrs. Switchback's spirits on the tail end of laryngitis, it was my suggestion that we come here and then check out the local farmer's market. And it worked. Soon as I mentioned it, she felt remarkably better. You heard her singing. We bought nothing, of course, but I got to drop in on my twin brother. I found something here called the Destruction Burger. Everything but the kitchen sink. How am I not gonna get that?
Only person that has
Let's see if it lives up to its name. The Destruction Burger has everything on it, and I mean that. If there is a question about what was on it, I think an easier question would be what was not on it.
No.
The only thing that Destruction Burger didn't come with was a defibrillator. I'm gonna take a little side trail here. This park has some very, very extensive trails, which I'm probably not gonna be doing. This has been an interesting weekend just because Mrs. Switchback's been a little bit under the weather, and we've just been kind of lazy, to be honest. We're taking the yellow trail down to the red trail, and then we will come out somewhere at the other end of this camping loop. I mentioned before I used to bring my daughters here when they were very little. And I had this thing back then where I would wake them up in our tent at about midnight, 11 o'clock, midnight, and we'd take ourselves a midnight hike, which I thought was really fun. And when they were little, they thought it was fun too. Then they got a little bit older. The midnight hikes were always kind of cool just because you never knew what you were going to run into, what kind of wildlife you would see, an owl, anything like that. This is a CCC water fountain made of local sandstone. Of course, it's no longer in use, but back in the day it sure was. I'm sure this is another maybe structure, maybe it was a grill at some point. I don't know, you find these things around here in these trails and you gotta wonder what they were made for. That looked like a grill to me. A CCC picnic table. This is nice. Well, I did a little circle there, and we are now back at our camping loop. It's a great little trail. Nice little brisk walk. The weather's perfect. That's 65 degrees right now. Cool breeze blowing. This weather couldn't be more perfect. I had to at least try. I'm gonna catch dinner tonight. What do you think?
Think not.
Okay, yeah. What we have now is Lake Mina is what they call it. And I don't think Lake Mina has any fish in it because I'm so skilled, I would have caught something by now.
True.
I just had to do it. I had to at least put a hook in the water just to say I did it. There must not be any fish in this little pond. I'm quite certain there are no fish here. Because if anyone would have found out if there were fish here, it would have been me. I would have caught a few by now. And I haven't. So there must not be any fish in this pond whatsoever. Zero. Me being who I am, the natural fisher that I am, I would have caught something by now. I would have caught something within the first 4 seconds. And we've been here for about 15 minutes and I haven't caught anything.
Right.
So there must not be any wildlife, any living organism in these waters here. Okay, so up to this point, I have proven to you how ridiculous I can get when it comes to selecting a steak to eat. So I did not, I promise, get another 2 pound bone-in ribeye. Did not do it this time. I came to my senses. I got a 3 pound picanha. Picanha is a cut of beef that comes from the top of the sirloin, made popular by the Brazilian steakhouses as of late. Traditionally, they're salted only. That's it. Dry brined in salt, grilled, served. I'm going to do that. I'm going to salt it, let it sit overnight. But we're in Texas. Tomorrow, I'm going to pepper the hell out of it. Well, here we go again. For 2 people, we have all this delightful, beefy goodness. And just to be on the healthy side, vegetables too. What do you think?
I think they look great.
Bastrop State Park in Bastrop, Texas, as well as the hill country just east of us. This is a very nice area of the state. Laid back, great place to come and visit this time of year. Maybe embark on a little winter excursion. Or as we call it here in Texas, summer. I'm kidding, of course. It's December. We call it spring. But regardless of weather or season, rain or shine, heat or cold, you can bet we'll be all up in it. Cooper too. From the comfort of Janie Marie, of course. I appreciate you watching our Bastrop State Park video. There's a lot to see and do at this park, much of which we did not see or do. We were a little lazy this weekend. Mrs. Switchback was a little bit under the weather. But again, I appreciate all of you watching. If you are enjoying these videos, hit the little thumbs up button, the little like button. If you want to be notified of videos that I post when they post, hit the little notification bell. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all of you. Our next journey will take us to Lake Whitney State Park, first weekend of February. We're looking forward to that one. We're going to be there for 4 nights this time. And there's going to be an event there that we will be attending, hosted by the one and only Dude RV. So we're looking forward to that one. So until then, Switchback Texan is out.